how do ULV CDA sprayers work and how can they do more with less? Firstly, let's define some terms. ULV is ultra low volume spraying and describes any spray process that delivers very low volumes of spray. Now, for crop spraying, this would normally be less than 5 litres per hectare. So imagine you're delivering a mere 5 litres over a hectare, which is 100 metres by 100 metres, so 10,000 metres squared. You're trying to distribute 5 litres over. So very, very low volumes of spray. CDA is controlled droplet application. Now, this is a method of producing sprays that have a very tight droplet size range, i.e. almost all of the drops within the spray will fall within a defined drop size. So combining these two terms, we arrive at a spray regime that can deliver under 5 litres per hectare with tightly controlled droplet sizes. So what do CDA and ULV sprayers spray? Well, typically they'll spray neat, undiluted herbicide. When applying something like glyphosate 480, normally you would heavily dilute the chemical with water at 20 to 1 or more, normally much higher, and the level of dilution will depend on the overall spray rate from your sprayer. Now, in some situations, you may be spraying 250 litres of liquid per hectare to deliver the 3 or 4 litres of active ingredient that you want to get onto that field. CDA/ULV sprayers have much lower flow rates and allow the neat chemical to be sprayed without bulking it up with water. So you can deliver just the active ingredients sprayed neat. This is what they will spray. Now, this is impossible with conventional sprayers because they can't get down to those incredibly low flow rates required. Now, it's also impossible with simpler CDA sprayers, merely CDA sprayers, for the same reason. With a basic CDA sprayer, the active ingredient still needs to be diluted. Not as much as with standard sprayers for sure, but it still can't be sprayed neat because a standard CDA sprayer will not be able to get down to the very low spray volumes required for spraying the chemical neat. Only a CDA plus ULV sprayer will do this. But regardless of this, none of this on the face of it will reduce the amount of actual chemical you need per unit area. Sure, you remove the hassle of mixing it with water and the energy needed to spray much larger volumes of the mixed solution, but that won't actually affect the amount of active ingredient being sprayed, right? Well, no. CDA spraying in general allows you to use much less of the overall active ingredient per unit area and get the same results. Now, with a CDA plus ULV sprayer, this reduction of active ingredient usage per hectare is enhanced even further. Now, to explain how this is possible, we need to have a look at some of the characteristics of the spray produced. The first important characteristic is that the ULV plus CDA sprayer, the overall volume of spray per unit area is much lower, sometimes as much as 250 times less actual fluid is sprayed. Now, this means there is far less opportunity for any liquid to flow off the leaves that it hits. Very small volumes of liquid will not have a chance to agglomerate and flow away, so be wasted. They stick to the leaves much better, and this dramatically reduces runoff. Now, the next characteristic is drop size, droplet size, or more precisely the range of drop sizes produced. Now, CDA sprayers will be configured to deliver drop sizes between about 140 and 150 microns. This is an ideal balance between having droplets small enough to penetrate foliage and stick to leaves, but not being so small that they're wafted off target by winds. Conventional sprayers also produce drop sizes that have a similar average drop size to this. So why is CDA better? Why can you get the better results even though the drop sizes are roughly within that sort of 150 micron range? Well, the difference is in the spectrum of drop sizes produced. Conventional sprayers will have a much broader range of drop sizes. There'll be some drop sizes that are much bigger than the 150 micron average desired, and some that will be much, much smaller. Controlled droplet application CDA confines almost all of the droplets to within a very, very tight range. There's almost no bigger or smaller droplets. So what happens with a conventional sprayer is the bigger droplets that are produced will tend to bounce off or roll off the leaves, be wasted. Smaller droplets will tend to waft off target and potentially contaminate areas you don't want them to get into. And this means that even though the average drop sizes are roughly the same between a CDA sprayer and a conventional sprayer, the CDA sprayer with this narrow spectrum of droplets will actually dramatically improve absorption and reduce wastage. So they'll stay on target better. Now, the combination of these two factors, the reduced amount of overall fluid being sprayed and the fact that the droplets are all within that ideal drop size, means that CDA sprayers can actually do the same job but only using a fraction of the amount of herbicide used in conventional spraying. Now, these benefits are situational. CDA plus ULV spraying should not be seen as a universal way to reduce herbicides. It depends on the situation. But with applications like, say, spraying to keep weeds down and immunity sites on pavements and in parks and things like that, then CDA plus ULV spraying can dramatically reduce herbicide usage. This saves money and also saves the environment.